Wow. What's happening, everybody? Your boy is back. Yes, sir, we back. How are you? How is your cousin, your relatives, and your mom and them? You know, I'm from the South, so we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette. I am he, your host today for this incredible, listen, this podcast today, let me just say this. First of all, this is not for the kids. Put the kids out the room. We having grown folk talk today. When I say grown folk, I mean grown folk talk. Yes, yes, yes. Have you ever made love before? I can't wait to get into this. I'm tickled. I'm overjoyed, but I'm excited for this particular topic. Why? Because we're going to approach some things that most of us don't really want to talk about. Listen, if you're looking at me on I'm not Instagram, on YouTube, and you're looking at me right now, I have notes, right? I just jot some things down. I got about a page and a half, 2 pages, actually 2 pages of notes that just some things I thought about, and I want to express it. But I promise you, for y'all little nasty people out there that want to stick your little hot dog in the bun, or for them other little nasty people that want to get the bun and get somebody to put their hot dog in the bun, I promise you, when we talk about this today, it is going to be at a place that you have never thought about. See, we have came to a place now on Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette where we're just going to be spitting more and more truths each and every day. No worries, we're going to have more guests, more exceptional guests coming on. A lot of people are lined up for the show, so I'm not concerned with that end. But you guys understand when something comes to you and something is in a unique position, I want to share it with the family. So let's do this. So first of all, let's do our wonderful commercials. This show is brought to you by none other than Hot Shot Mall. Listen, go to hotshotmall.com. Go to the trendy section. Listen to your boy. Go to the trendy section, and you're going to see some things there that's incredible. You're going to get there. You're going to get the shipping there for about 3 to 5 business days. It's incredible. Listen, I'm telling you, do that for your boy. So go to hotshotmall.com, go to the trendy section and get some of the things on there. You're literally going to be blown away. Obviously, there's a lot more things there, not just the trendy section. They have wellness products, they have hair, they have lashes, they have supplements. I mean, it's a whole variety of things. So go there, enjoy yourself, have fun, and thank me later. All right. The other thing is, I want to say, family, could y'all do me a favor? Please do me a favor. When you have a moment, please go to YouTube and follow me. Just simply follow me. Follow the show. Let's talk with Stanley Doucette. Let's talk with Stanley Doucette. But follow me on YouTube. I'm also on Twitter. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram. Like I said, even LinkedIn. So go to those platforms, ladies and gentlemen, and follow us. Now, I know after we finish this show, a lot of people will hit the show up. So I want to give everybody the email to hit us up directly. And it's let's talk with Stanley D at gmail.com. That's LETSTALKWITHSTANLEY as in David at gmail.com. Please go there and send me your messages, send me your questions, all of those things, send them to me. So when I receive them, I'm able to correspond with you guys. We are able to connect. And even if you're looking to hop on the show, or you have a book that you want to promote and push, we'll make sure we're connected. Get connected, and then make sure that we go through our due diligence to make sure everybody's happy. All right. Now, I'm a little nervous on this because this one, like I said, get the children out the room. This grown folk talk right now. We're gonna talk about what Gerald Levert used to say, that blue light basement love. We getting deep down in it. So I want to make sure that all the kids are out the room. Make sure all of the kids are out the room. This is not the podcast for them. We'll do another one for the kids, but this one today, this is all grown folk business here. Grown folk. So again, get the kids out the room. All right, now that the kids are out the room, what's the topic of our podcast to do? Our podcast today is, have you ever made love? Let me ask that question to you guys. Have you ever made love? I can feel my stomach is, is bubbling up, but have you ever made love? Here is why I wanted to bring that up. Because what I'm referring to and what other people think of is two totally separate things. It's just two totally separate things. I asked a question to a friend of mine, right? And I literally asked her, have you ever made love? And of course, yes, and my husband and I, and went through all of those things. And then when we started breaking it down about it, then she had to pause and think. So let's get into it today with us as a family. The question on the table is, have you ever made love? Now, let me also say this. If you don't want to be truthful in this conversation, this podcast is not for you. I'm going to be upfront. It is not for you. This is to be truthful. This is to be true. See, when you have conversations at this level, you cannot fake the funk. And that's part of the reason why probably, if not all of you, most of you guys have never, ever experienced lovemaking. Let me say that again. Most of you, if not all, have never experienced lovemaking. But see, when you have experienced lovemaking, you understand what that feels like. So let me kind of start digging into this about lovemaking. So number one, we're not talking specifically sex. That's the first thing. We're not talking specifically about sex, because most people want to talk about sex. That's cool. But let me say this. Physical sex, all of those things about sex, that is just something that can be enjoyable itself. You can just physically you don't even have the connection with somebody if you don't want to. So don't ever mix sex up in love, especially not making love. Don't do that. Just do not do that. See, when you also talk about having sex, it's more physical, physically active. It's focused on just the sexual part. It just requires you to physically be doing some kind of act. Now, I'm not trying to get into what positions and all of that stuff. I'm just talking about, have you ever made love? That's the physical sex side, right? And that's what most people consider making love. It's the physical act. Now, you could have some impact or some implications on that. But in this show today, I'm talking about it from a totally different standpoint. I'm about to get into my notes, guys. I wrote down some things that I'm exceptionally proud about, but I want to share this with them. So when we ask that question, have you ever made love? I want to first of all think about it like this. Making love requires more than physicality. Let me say that again. Making love requires more than physicality. Making love is more about connecting your mind and your soul. It's more about connecting your mind and your soul. See, most of us don't come to the location, if you will, or together 100%. No, we don't come 100%. We think we come 100%. We play a lot of games when we come into the table. We talk about a lot of things and we tiptoe around things, and we may not share things with each other at first because we're trying to guard our heart, trying to put some things there and let me test them and let me test them here. When we talk about grown folk business and we talking about, have you ever made love? Number one is you have to be 100%. You can't be 99%. You have to be 100%. You got to go all the way in that thing. Now, I can see and hear some men and women on both sides saying, nah, I'm not going 100% in. I'm going to have to make sure that, their credit is good. And I got to make sure that this is all of that stuff that have nothing to do with have you ever made love. Remember, we talked about have you ever made love has to do more about mind in your soul, in your spirit, than it have to do with anything else. So your spirit and your mind is connected, right? Think about this. Let me paint a picture for you. Let me just paint a story so you'll understand this, right? So let me just tell a story. This is not a truthful story, but let me tell a story because I want to bring you guys into where I am and what I'm talking about. So we'll take that next step, right? So I just want you to imagine that you're going by someone's house. You're talking to someone, you're with someone, you're by someone, you're doing some things, right? And you actually like that person. You truly like that person. So y'all connected, y'all doing some stuff. But here's the thing. Remember at the beginning, we talked about you first have to be 100%. What happens if you're coming to the table with 85%, 65%, 40%, right? And you're still talking about the percentages. Here's the thing. If you're still talking about percentages and what you gave someone, you will never make love. Let me say that again. If you talk about percentages and pizzas and this and that, you will never ever make love. Now, in this scenario that I'm talking about, let me paint this picture with this scenario. I want you guys to understand this because it's powerful. It is absolutely powerful. So you go into the table with 100%. Let's say the other person is going with 80%. Well, you're on two separate levels. So you will never understand each other. Let me say that again. If you're going to the place with 100% and someone else is going with 80%, you're on two totally separate levels. So you'll never understand that particular space, right? Now, let me also do a couple of other things that I think is powerful, that I think is next level, that I think is bringing us to a whole totally different place. All right. Now that you're 100%, now that you're doing the things that you have to do, now that you're in a location to where you're going to make this happen. So now we finally got to the place of 100%, right? You finally got beyond, quote unquote, playing these games. So you're now taking that next step. And then you're getting to a location to where you're saying, you know what? I really like him. I really like her. But now you have to take that next step and not get caught up in past experiences. A friend of mine by the name of Jeff Landrum would always talk about the rear view mirror. Why the rear view mirror is smaller than than your actual windshield, right? He would always talk about this. Going to and walking to the place where you'll be able to experience lovemaking is way bigger than you being in a position to look in your rear view mirror. So let me go through that again because this is really important. Most of us show up looking in the rear view mirror. Most of us literally are curving our future for our past experiences. Let me say that again. Most of us are curving our future and our future experiences for our past experiences, meaning we're looking backwards instead of going forward. This is so good. Let me find this in my notes because some of you are literally walking to the altar right now at 75%. And then saying because the physical sex was good, oh, we made love. Negative. You didn't make love. Y'all just had sex and it was good, which is fine. But when we're talking about the ultimate in love making and making some things happen, it is unbelievable. See, you're talking about connecting spiritually. If I hold you physically, but I'm touching you spiritually. Let me say that again. Think about if I'm holding you physically, but I'm touching you spiritually. When you start talking about things like that, now you're going to that next level. Why? Because making love is different. It's a it's a spiritual connection. So in a scenario that I was painting, right, people are going to the altar 75%, 80%. Let me share this with you. In a story, remember, let me just tell you a story. Let's say we connected with somebody. They are amazing. I mean, they are amazing. You think she's amazing, he thinks you're amazing. And you're literally walking down the steps of whatever, walking down the steps of your house, walking down the steps of her house, walking down the steps of wherever y'all met, right? And you skipping down the street. See, here's a thing where you know you've connected with somebody where you have the opportunity to make love, to where you're finishing each other's sentences. So most people be like, oh, that's your soulmate. No, that whatever. We're talking about making love at the depths of your soul, which is going to glorify the creator, right? Now, inside of that, when you're doing it, you can't be fake again. So now let me ask you guys a question. I'm gonna just stop and ask this question. Have you ever had a connection so powerful with somebody, so deep, so intense, to where you never physically had sex, but you had an orgasm? Let me ask that question again. Have you had a connection that is so deep with someone that you never physically had sex, but you had an orgasm? See, someone that you felt a transfer, you literally felt it in the depths of your soul. And when you left, you felt peace that you can't even explain it. In the Bible, they talk about peace that surpasses all understanding. That's what you're talking about. Imagine this. See, guys, we talk about grown folk business now. See, a lot of us have to put away these childish games that we're talking about, and let's walk into this marvelous light of peace that I'm referring to. See, in that position, imagine being in a position, right, to where that exchange happened and you finish whatever that exchange is. And when you wake up or when you come to or your eyes open or whatever, or the exchange finish, because you're not physically having sex. It could be a hug. And when it finished, you're looking like, what just happened? You're almost lightheaded. You walking in a circle. You're confused because nothing like this have ever happened to you. We're talking about making love at that level, not some physical, oh, the session was good. It was 15, 20 minutes, an hour, 6 hours, 3 days, whatever you want to lie about. That's what that was. But I'm talking about the spiritual connection of love making. It's not what you think, ladies and gentlemen. I know the title got y'all, and I know all y'all nosy folks in here, but y'all gonna learn something today because you're in here, right? So the cost of it being available to you, talking about love making, making love. Have you ever made love to somebody? The cost of it being available to you is not so much of it, but are you available to it? Then let me say that again. The cost of it being available to you is there, but the question is, are you available for it? Meaning you're 100%. Meaning you're coming to the table open and expecting, waiting to receive, have tapped into that next side, have tapped into levels that you've never experienced. Can you trust yourself and your God to take you to places you've never experienced? You can make love with multiple people. Yeah, that one, I know I'm already expecting a whole bunch of people calling me about that one. Yes, you can make love to multiple people. I'm gonna say that again. Yes, you can make love to multiple people. Now, for everybody that want my email, hit me up on email. I am excited to debate this one. It's let's talk with Stanley D at gmail.com. LETSTALKWITHSTANLEY D as in David at gmail.com. Yes, you can make love to multiple people. But the question is, can you handle multiple people? Remember, you can't go to people half stepping. You can't go to people half assing. You literally have to be engaged totally into that person. If it's a male, totally expecting him to do certain things and you be there to help supply those needs, whatever they may be. Same thing on the female, on the male side to the female. Can you anticipate her thoughts, Can you anticipate what she wants to eat? Can you answer and ask questions, but then answer it for her? Can you order the food that she wants without even conversing? Let me ask you guys a question, because now I'm starting to get excited about this thing. When we're talking about have you ever made love, then I will go back just a half a step and ask, do you even know what love is? Because see, when you see love in this twinkle in your eyes, and you hear those old, our older relatives and friends and grandmothers tell me that, ooh, your nose wide open, child. Some of us nose are wide open, but let me ask the question is, it's open, but is it open to the right person? See, sometimes we just get caught up into things that have nothing to do with nothing. My mentor, Dr. Sam Orm, said the other day, some people are in here for a season and some for a lifetime. Our mess up, or our confusion is, we try to make season that's people that's part-time, we try to make them full-time. No. They're part-time. Keep them in their part-time position. As I like to say, play your position, baby. Just play your position. So if you can make love to multiple people at that highest level, where you're able to look in her eyes or look in his eyes and begin to understand exactly what it is that they're saying without them even opening their mouth. Being in a position to understand, as soon as you pick up the phone, you can literally look at them one glimpse and see baby or honey or sweet to do or Boo Bear or Bobby Blue Bland or whatever you want to say, if that person is going through something. The next question is, can you lift her or him up without saying a word? Can you literally begin to move their energy to a positive standpoint without even speaking? Now, some of y'all, I can hear y'all saying that's impossible. You can't do that. You got to talk to them. You got to, no. That's because you've never made love before. When that gets entwined in you, that's deeper than roots, or as some people would say, roots. That's deeper than the roots. So you're going way, way down to touch something that most people have never touched, because it is possible to make love to multiple people. But as I say, the question is, can you handle multiple people? Making love is not the hard part. Let me say that again. Making love is not the hard part. I'm going to say that one more time. And for all y'all freaks out there, I'm not talking about sex. Making love is not the hard part. The challenge is, can you sustain that for a lifetime? I'm blowing on myself. Making love is not the hard part. The challenge is, can you sustain that for a lifetime? My goodness. See, don't get tired. The Bible talks about don't get tired in well doing. Yeah. Don't get tired. Do not get tired. When you love somebody at that level, when you're talking to them, all of a sudden you start nicknaming each other crazy stuff, right? When you're doing stuff, you say, oh, my love, I love you. Oh, baby, I love you. You wake up every morning, you want to send them a message. You're going to sleep with them at night. If you're on vacation or they're not beside you, you're talking 47 times a day. Your text messages are running off the chain. You can't even keep up with the text messages because you're in that space, that pure and true space. You're literally at a place to where I want to sustain this. Listen to me. A lifetime. Now, in sustaining in that lifetime, I want y'all to hear this very clearly, because you can't make love unless you understand this piece, and it's that powerful. You have to grow with that individual purely and have the capabilities and capacity to lift that other person up. Listen, men, let me, ladies, y'all hold on for 1 second. Let me holler at my men. Let me get at my men. I don't care if you in Belgium, let me get at the men. If you in Germany, let me get at the men. If you in South Africa, let me get at the men. Men, if you are approaching someone that you love at the highest level, at the highest level, and you decide y'all will get married, you all will get married. Mhm. And you decide that you want that person to have your last name, I want to be absolutely and abundantly clear when I say this. You must upgrade them. If they're going to receive your last name, you must upgrade them. Not only must you upgrade them, you must also have the capacity to handle them at every single level of their development and their growth, whether it's spiritually, whether it's mentally, whether it's physically, whether it's psychologically, whether it's environmentally, whether it's anything. You must be able to um, understand that person, uplift them, and have the capacity to make that happen. Because then you're starting to communicate without speaking. Non-verbal communication. I'm not even talking about using your hands. I'm talking about sitting over from the dinner table. She will have, or he will have this, and this, and I'm going to have this, and this. See, that's what we're talking about. Stop doubting that it can't happen. Faith knows that you have. Faith knows that you have won before you have even gotten started. So in that relationship with that new individual, in that relationship with that old individual that you say you're in love with, let me ask you a question. Can you look in their eyes and tell them exactly what they're saying? Can you look in their eyes and tell them how much they love you without even saying nothing? Can you feel them when you're talking? Can you feel them when you're not even together? Can you feel them when they're praying for you or not even in the house yet? Can you understand that their energy sometimes go up and down, but do you have the capacity when they're starting to go down to just hold your hand up, whether it's a physical hand or whether it's your spiritual hand, to lift them back up and let them be level ground? Can you allow them to vent, let the steam off, let their pain off, let their inadequacies off, let their desires off on your chest, and you just hold them and say, baby, I love you. It doesn't matter what's going on. I'm here with you, and I'm going to continue to hold and lift you up. So the question becomes to people that don't understand, have you ever made love? That's where we are. Making love is so much more and is so deeper. Some cases we fight to go backwards. See, sometimes we fighting ourselves to go backwards. When we first met, we fought each other with what would I call it? Crazy games, right? Humanistic games, right? We just doing these little dumb things, right? Let me test him with this. Let me test her with this. I'm gonna leave my phone here. Let me see if she's gonna try to go into it. Now I'm gonna leave my wallet here or my purse here. Let me see if he's gonna try to go into it. We're playing these little crazy games. You know, we're saying, "Oh, I'm being truthful," but yet at the same time, you're afraid to tell them, "I love you first." I'm afraid to expose myself. I'm afraid to trust. I'm afraid to give it all in this relationship. As a matter of fact, when something comes up, ask yourself, do you run to that person or do you run from that person? See, let's not get caught up into these little crazy, retarded, stupid games when you're talking about, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take her to dinner, or I'm going to take him to dinner, and I'm going to set this up and set that up, because at the end of the day, you want to physically have sex. Listen, go and get the booty and leave all of the other stuff alone. It'll be cheaper, right? Stop trying to run around and equate sex and love at the same thing. Again, have you ever made love? This is where we are. So let me continue, because I don't want this to be a long podcast, but I want to continue, and I understand the depths of power to this, because I'm looking around right now and I'm seeing how many people are suffering just mentally walking through life. I'm looking at married couples. I'm looking at couples that are dating, that talking about they get married next week and shouldn't even have, they shouldn't even be together, much less get married. I'm looking at people that are having children, and children about to be birthed, but both of them don't even have a clue about each other. And you know what else I'm tired of? I'm tired of people also lying on God. I'm also tired of people lying on the Creator, and trying to manipulate the system, or manipulate rules, or manipulate sayings, or manipulate verses to make it them feel better. We're not doing that. So again, some cases we are fighting just to go backwards. Why? Because every single time you take a step up, every single time you go from 80% to 81%, it's going to create something new that you've never experienced. See, once you start getting in that 90, 95% area, when you really have to take everything out of your heart, out of your spirit, out of your soul, out of the depths of your consciousness to be with that person, to make sure that they're lifted up, to make sure that they're loved, to make sure that they're excited. Have you, when have you ever prayed for somebody without them even asking? When have you prayed for somebody earnestly via text because she or he is in work, so you can't really get to them, but you want to pray for them because you feel something going? Remember, you had that 100%, so you're feeling them. They're fighting through something, they're going through something, but yet are you literally praying for that person earnestly to fight off things? Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been with your boo bear, your sugar dumplings, or whatever the verbiage is, right? Have you ever been with that person and someone called them in a place of darkness, and you're standing there with your wife, your spouse, whatever you want to say, but the person that called them on the phone is in a dark place? My question is, can you walk in that light with them? Can you begin to elevate the friend, whether it's male or female? Can you begin to elevate your boy or your girl without even speaking to them? We're talking about, have you ever made love? Because most people are trying to equate this with sex, and we're trying to elevate your mind and your spirit. It's two separate things. Now, for those that are slow, yeah, I did. I said it today. I told y'all this is grown folk business now, because too many people are lying. Too many people are running to get married when they're only 30%. How in the hell you gonna have a successful marriage when you're only 30% in? Where's the damn other 70%? Yeah, I'm getting mad because I'm thinking about this. Where's the other 70%? Do you have the capacity to get married at this level to talk about, have you ever made love? Because once you get to this level, listen to me and listen to me clearly. You will never, ever in your life want to go back to any other percentage than that percentage. Does it take work? Yeah. Will it make you nervous? Yeah. Will it put you kind of a little trembling? Yes. All of that will take place. But if you true to the game and you true to what you're talking about and push through those barriers, it's a place that you don't even understand. Think about it. The first time it happened to me, like my eyes rolling behind my head. I'm trying to figure out where I am. All of those things are going on. And I'm like, what in the world is really happening? It took me some time to even figure out where I was, right? I didn't even know. But the love making was so intense. We didn't even physically have sex. It was literally that intense. When you talk about kissing and you see stars, let me say that again. When you talk about kissing and see stars, or when you just kissing and you have an orgasm, I said it on the air. When you're kissing and have an orgasm and you see stars and you're shaking and trembling, almost like you're in convulsions or something. See, that's that level of exchange that we're referring to. Nothing else but that level of exchange. So stop fighting to go backwards. When we first met, we fought each other with those little games. Stop doing that. Instead of saying, I don't know your name, so call your name when I say that. I'm just going to say my name, right? So instead of saying, Stanley, make love to me. Stanley, make love to me, or whatever your name is, Bonquisha, make love to me. Instead of saying those things and really being genuine and pure and at that place of 100%, instead of we doing that, what we doing? We playing games. We still looking in the rear view mirror. We playing games. We playing little silly willy games. Oh, I'm gonna have my girl call him and see, or I'm gonna have my girl go try to flirt with him and see if this gonna work, or I'm gonna have my dudes do that. Stop all that. We too grown for this now. We have to make decisions for our peace. And let me also explain this to you. The first time that happened to me, the first time it happened to me, there was a level of peace that hit me that I could not even explain. Let me say that again. And it lasted for weeks. When you literally step into that 100% threshold and you literally live in a place where, it's forgiven. If somebody forget to call you at 3 o'clock, it's forgiven. You're not holding that over their head. If someone don't want to go and do something, you're not holding that over your head. And then you also doing some other things, right? If somebody's having something in a different state, it doesn't matter. You know what? I don't really want to go, but because it's you, I'm going to go. See, some people are literally turned off by this podcast even now because they're saying that is absolutely impossible. I've never been here. I've been here on 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, 80 years. That's not even right. That's not even happening. But instead of saying your name, make love to me, you're not doing that. You're still fighting to go backwards and still fighting to play these little games and still fighting to be in societal norms and still fighting to say, oh, well, this is what we're supposed to do. No. Can you walk in that trueness and in that light? Or are you still looking to say, let me play these games? Let me go backwards. We fight to protect our spirits and our heart. But can you open your spirits and your heart to receive the blessing? And listen to this. If your creator literally sent you a blessing, you will know by the depths of your spirit and how it reacts to that person. You will know how your soul begins to jump and flicker. You'll begin to know how your heart starts to beat a little different when that person is around, because you understand that that person is 100% and you're 100%. Now, excuse me, let me say this. If you're not 100% yet, and you're not in a place where you want to be 100% yet, that's fine. That's your life. That's your responsibility. That's your challenge, right? That's what you're doing. But if you want to take that step into being 100%, the very first thing you must do is be honest with yourself. Not to your cousin, not to your mama, not to your daddy, but to yourself. To yourself. Once you get clarity on that, there's a lot of walls and things that will just simply come down. And when that right person comes into the view, when that right person comes into play, when that person you have prayed for decades in some cases steps into your vision, make sure you do not fight that person to go backwards. When that person begins to call you to something higher, something different, something more elaborate than you ever imagined, don't push that person away because that's what you used to do. Walk into that beauty, walk into that light, walk into that grace and greatness with open arms, right? Now, let me pause here. When we're talking about this, this is also not saying be crazy or silly, right? Just everybody that come along with a rose or somebody that come along with something, don't just run out there and be like, here's my heart, take it. Here's my spirit, here's my soul. Don't do that, right? But intrinsically, deep down in the depths of your soul, somebody is saying, I want to love you at your worst because loving you at your best is easy. I want to be that person to say, you're my heartbeat on the outside of my chest. You're that heart that walks around this physical earth that I can see, feel, taste, and touch. But I don't want anything to hurt you. I just want to protect you and hold you. I just want to lift you up. Are you the person that can make love to that person and elevate them in such a way to where they're seeing the same stars you're seeing? When you have located that person, know you have found something that's special. Verbally, we can say, I wanted to move forward, but our actions are saying something totally different. Our actions are saying something totally different. See, We're saying I'm moving forward and I'm going to be 100%. But then we have to take action. We have to take action. But most people don't want to take action. They want to stay right where they are so they can see everything and know all of the things around them. Or they want to take a half a step back so they can see it and then they can know how to play the game at that level. That's not where we need to be, and that's not where we're going. See, Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette is taking us all and pushing us all forward. Listen, this was a challenge for me to even do this podcast today. I promise you, it was a challenge, but it was necessary that we can get this on the air and share that with everybody. Let me love you to the depths of your soul. Let me say that again. Let me love you to the depths of your soul so I can touch your entire being. Let me love you to the depths of your soul so I can touch your entire being. Ladies and gentlemen, friends, family, it is nothing like making love to your one. It is nothing like making love to the one that you consider your soulmate or your eternal partner. It's nothing like making love to the one that says, I got your back, even when you at fault. See, guys, family, friends, lovers, we're in a place to now we're opening up our hearts to see things that you've never seen before. When you're talking about making love at that place, you're now able to create things and power and manifest things that wasn't there before, because now you have removed things that are not of you and allow all of those things that are of you to begin to open up and share and see and be a part of. We're talking about, have you ever made love before? When I am not worried, y'all listen to this. I'm gonna take my time because I wrote this one down and I want you to so get it. Listen to this. When I am not worried about sex or about anything physical from a sexuality standpoint, I see how powerful I become, because now I'm operating in the spirit and not as a physical thing. Because everybody gets stuck at the orgasm side. Everybody gets stuck at for the first time of, ooh, if I'm a male, I put it in, and ooh, I received it as a female the first time, and ooh, and you hear the songs, and then we made love. No, you didn't make love, you had sex. But when you get to the point to where you are able to make love and you are not worried about the physical sex, but you're worried about making sure you're making love to that person by lifting them in their spirit and in their energy and in their power and their anointing and in their grace and all of those things. And you are also depositing joy and peace and comfort and all of those things, where every single moment of every single day I think about her or I think about him. That's where we are. So let me read this. When I am not worried about sex or about things in the physical, I see how powerful I become. When I think about sex and physical things, I am just average. And think about that, guys. Run tell that. I just said, now go run tell that to your mom and them, right? Because we're operating at a place that's beyond the norm. I believe wholeheartedly, if we as a family begin to move in that space, because sometimes people think that, oh, I just, the sex was great, so we need to get married. Like, I need to have this for a lifetime. No, 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 no. The challenge is, can you sustain it for a lifetime? Physically, you can't, because Father Time is undefeated. You cannot sustain it for a lifetime. But oh, when you make love at that special place and you begin to walk in that smell, and what I mean by smell, not that they stink, but when you walk into that smell, you can smell the aroma of love. You can smell the consciousness of grace. You can touch the power and the anointing that's in them deep within their soul. Their spirit becomes lighter, and they begin to float as y'all connect. There's a connection of the heart that takes place at 100%. That bond is irrevocable. You can't break that bond because it's on a planet that 99.9999999% of people have no idea about. That's what making love is. Ecstasy, adventure of a lifetime thrill. When was the last time you woke up without physically having sex and just laying with your her or your him? And you woke up into a space of peace that, number one, you didn't know where you were. When you looked at them, you was just in awe because you didn't even know where you had went. But the peace that's in you, you know that you either had touched God or something spiritual, because it's that peace that had broke all barriers and walls down, that had broke all negativities down, and you're walking in that light. Can you be that person? Can you love me beyond my faults? Can you love me in a space to where I want to see you even when I can't see you? Can you love a person in a space to where when they're on the East Coast and you're on the West Coast and y'all communicating without even talking, can you manifest a phone call from that individual and they call you and say exactly what it is that you were thinking? See, now we're talking about moving in a power that's amazing. Expressing your love at that level is just one of the greatest things that I've ever had the opportunity to experience. Ladies and gentlemen, once you get to that place, now you're making love. It's not the physical, but can you exude that energy and that power? Can you push it to become an attraction and to connect with that person to where you take it to the next level, the next realm, the next dimension, the next whatever? As a matter of fact, not only do you just take it there, you begin to live in that space. You begin to just hold tight there because you don't even want to go back to 99%. What is 99%? I'm 100. Guys, this is when you make love. This is when you're at the altar for real, because you have touched the hem of his garment. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, if we collectively can do this, the entire world will change in an instant. In an instant. But instead, most people want to do the physical thing. They want to put their little hot dog in the bun. And ladies and gentlemen, when they put the hot dog in the bun, sometimes it's a slip up. It's a oopsies. And next thing you know, you have a little one running around. You now have two kids, raising a kid. But guys, if you ever get to the point where you can make love, and you love that man or that woman, and you love them into that existence, and you elevate with them and hold that capacity together, I'm telling you, it is a marvelous thing that you will never, ever want to go back. Guys, we're going to roll on out of here. We're completing this. Remember, today's lovemaking session was brought to you by hotshotmall.com. It was brought to you by hotshotmall.com. Go there, go to the trendy section. It is going to be magnificent. You're going to love every single thing of it. Now, for all of you that really want my email address, I'm giving it to you directly. Go to let's talk with Stanley D at gmail.com. LETSTANLEY D as in David at gmail.com. Let's go there. Send me all of your messages. I am absolutely thrilled and cannot wait to respond to all your messages. Now, all you guys know my intro and outro music is incredible. It is incredible. To all my people, New Orleans, whoa, now, wow, what's happening? We gonna get it in regardless. To everybody that's in Germany, to everybody that's in the south of France, to everybody that's in United Kingdom, to everybody that's all the way down, and my good friends down in Australia. I love you guys. Remember, the question was, have you ever made love? And if you said no to any of those questions that we had, any of those things, it's okay. That just still means you need a little bit more room to grow until you 100. With that being said, peace and blessings, my friends, my family. I love you guys, and let's make this thing happen. Have you ever made love? I can't wait. Matter of fact, if you guys will do me a favor, all of you that have had that experience of making love, just send me an email and just say, yes, I've made love. Let's talk with Stanley D at gmail.com. LETSTALKWITHSTANLEY as in David at gmail.com. I look forward to seeing you guys on the beaches of the world. I look forward for us continuing our dialogue. Go to all of my social media platforms, and we're going to have an incredible day, weeks, and months to come. All right, guys. See y'all later. And don't forget, if you haven't, I look forward for your email saying, Stanley, I made love last night. God bless. And I will see you guys next week. Let's go and let's get out of here. Peace.